And we're off and underway. Here comes the chase behind. This is a good move now. Lining himself up to the sprint. Is he going to take the stage? Yes, he is!
Hello, welcome to stage 4 of this year's AJ Bell Tour of Britain, the Queen stage, from Redcar to here in Duncombe Park, and we're back in Yorkshire for the first time in a long time. It's going to be hard racing, that's a hard finish by the way, but stunning countryside. In fact, just like yesterday. On paper, stage 3 from Durham to Sunderland looked like it was going to be a bunch sprint, but it ended up being a race of two halves. A breakaway of 4 riders finally got clear, including Alex Richardson of St Piran, Camille Bonner of Sport Vlaanderen and Baloise, Ben Perry of With Sungod, and also Mattis Passions of Bingo Powell's Sources. The quartet slowly gained more and more time and came to agreements as to who would take the time bonuses and mountain points on the road. With conditions then visibly worsening and the break being helped along by some local riders, all of a sudden the improbable looked like becoming possible, that they could actually stay away. With Israel Premier Tech able to do any more, it was Ineos Grenadiers and then Team DSM who had to try and bridge the gap. Even though as they got closer to the finish the time difference started to tumble, it looked like it was really going to happen. Having made it to the final kilometre and the architect of the break, Alex Richardson, not succeeding in attacking, it was Camille Bonner who made his bid for glory.
A fantastic victory from Sport Vlaanderen and Baloise. Ben Perry, the Canadian, closing. Bonner takes the win. Ben Perry will take the jersey.
So for the very first time, officially, a rider from a British continental team has the leader's jersey on his back in the Tour of Britain, taking it off Corbin Strong, who's now 7 seconds further behind. Joined once more by Pippa York here on the finishing line at Duncombe Park. And Pippa, at the finishing line yesterday in Sunderland, it wasn't exactly clear who was going to be in the AJ Bell leader's jersey today. We thought it was Corbin Strong, holding on to it for another day. Turns out the commissaires changed their minds later on. Why?
There was a lot of confusion about if there was a gap, if there wasn't a gap, and at first they applied the wrong rule to the circumstances, so that's why we saw it was rectified later on.
Brilliant for Ben Perry, even better for his team with Sungod. So he's in the leader's jersey. They've also got the King of the Mountains jersey and the Sprints jersey today as well. All 3 jerseys, completely unprecedented for a smaller team here at the Tour of Britain. What are they going to do to protect them today?
I imagine they're going to hopefully watch and see what happens between the World Tour teams, because obviously they're the favourites for the general classification, and concentrate on what they normally do, the sprints and the climbs, and hopefully that goes well.
It is the Queen stage. They would have looked at this one before the race even started and pinpointed it as somewhere to shake up the race. We'll go though now from the sharp end of the racing to the tail end of people's careers. We know Alex Dowsett is calling it quits after the Tour of Britain this year, and so is Ineos Grenadiers' Richie Porte. Let's hear more about that now.
It's been a season of first last, and you know, the last week it was like, you know, my last, you know, days of, you know, last Sunday of training as a professional. It's been my life, you know, I wouldn't say it is my whole life, but it's been a massive part of my life. So it is, you know, even though I'm ready to stop and spend more time with my wife and kids, it is sad. I mean, the bike's given me so much, and you know, met some brilliant people.
Well, we know what Richie Porte can do. This is where he's at his best. We've seen him do this over and over again throughout his career.
Winning races like Paris-Nice, the Dauphiné, Tour de Suisse, they were, you know, quite good. But you know, also getting on the podium in the Tour de France, and I was 35 at the time, so that was a really cool achievement. And you know, some of the teams I've ridden in, I mean, you can't just put the finger on one. You know, when I look back, and just that whole self-belief thing, I could have been a bit better at that. Some of the times when I was in, you know, great shape, and just those doubts that you know, come into your head, but you know, it is what it is. There's not much you can do to change about that.
Maybe this is the moment where Porte can make the difference.
Immediate plans, go back to Australia next year to live, and I don't think you'll see a hell of a lot of me around bike races, but you know, in some way I'd like to be able to do something in Tasmania, where I'm from, to help, you know, some of these young kids have the same opportunities that I had. My wife's British. You know, we've got our 2 kids here, and obviously I can't finish my career in Australia at Tour Down Under. So this was the race that feels more like home to finish up on.
The rules are clear, and luckily they took another look, and it was unanimous that they'd made too quick of a decision, and here we are, Middlesbrough, red jersey. Didn't get to do a podium, unfortunately, yesterday, so I've just seen it for the first 30 seconds just now, so here we are.
The guys who are already in the front, they're also quite good climbers, and yeah, we will see. It's also uphill finish the last stage with the sprint, which could fit me, so yeah, we're gonna see.
A little bit frustrated. Everyone waits for us to pull. I get it. There's sprint teams out there that did nothing yesterday. You know, if we didn't start, that break would have finished at 3 minutes, I guarantee. The GC would have been done. So, yeah, we're going to try and, well, mix things up a bit today. And I think we're done with pulling in the finish now, and we'll throw all our cards in and see what happens.
Really pleased to say I've been joined now by Mark Rendell of title sponsors AJ Bell. Mark, brilliant to see you. Brilliant to have AJ Bell involved in the Tour of Britain. You're all mad cycling fans, I know that. So you must love being a part of the biggest race in Britain.
Yeah, absolutely. At AJ Bell, we want to help people to invest, but we also know a lot of our customers are very interested in cycling, so it's great for us to be able to get the brand in front of the right audience.
We're back in Yorkshire for the first time in, I think, 13 years with the Tour of Britain. The racing has been fascinating so far. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, really exciting finish yesterday. Been great racing to watch. Hopefully the weather stays like this now and we just have a strong finish to the Tour.
It's going to be brilliant. I think it's going to be fascinating and even more beautiful, by the way, as we get closer to the Needles on the Isle of Wight. Mark, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate your support as well. Let's have a closer look now at where the riders are going to go today. Stage 4 really is the Queen stage of this year's AJ Bell Tour of Britain. Heading off on the Esplanade at Redcar, the peloton then heads down the coast towards the first sprint at Whitby. Shortly after, the climbing really begins with the Cat 1 climb at Robin Hood's Bay. Egton Bank's Cat 2 signals the halfway point in the stage as the race moves through North Yorkshire for the first time in 13 years. Sprint 2 at Stokesley sets the riders up for the final KOM of the day at Carlton Bank, before the run-in takes in Sprint 3 at Newgate Bank, 8Ks to run to the finish at Duncombe Park. Redcar is a traditional seaside town with one of the longest unbroken sandy beaches in the UK. Just along the coast is Saltburn, which has the only remaining Victorian pier on the northeast or Yorkshire coast. And with its broad cobbled streets, Gisborough is an historic market town and the proud location of the historic Gisborough Priory. Nestled in the North York Moors National Park, the beautiful market town of Helmsley is known for its traditional coaching inns, welcoming accommodation, gastro experiences and its pretty market square. Just a short stroll from the town centre is the beautiful green space of Duncombe Park, one of Yorkshire's finest historic houses and estates. It boasts over 450 acres of spectacular gardens, parklands and a nature reserve and will host the Stage 4 finish. We're in the shadow of 900-year-old Helmsley Castle here at the finish. So let's get straight to the action on our commentary team of David Miller and Ned Bolton.
Down on the seafront in Redcar, just next to the beach and the golden sands, peloton are lined up for Stage 4 of the AJ Bell Tour of Britain for 2022. It's short, noticeably shorter than the last couple of days of racing, but for all that, it's no easier. This is potentially a defining day in terms of the general classification, 149.5 kilometres with 3 categorised climbs, 2 of which are Cat 1 climbs. What a moment this is for the Canadian Ben Perry in the red leaders jersey. It's the first time officially that any UCI Continental team, any domestic team from Great Britain has led the Tour of Britain, and there he is, denied his opportunity to pull on that jersey on the podium due to the confusion from the UCI commissaires yesterday, but when it got ironed out, justice was done, and there he is, wearing that jersey by rights after a brilliant ride yesterday, in a breakaway, marshalled by Alex Richardson, and his tactics, David, yesterday, and the way he sort of talked and shepherded that quartet of riders were, I mean, not only fascinating to watch, but they were really refreshing, imaginative, and very, very smart.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it is a tactic that's been used before, but I don't think ever in such an obvious manner, and it was quite surreal in the sense we were almost like a fly on the wall. We were hearing what was going on. We were confused at the beginning because, of course, St. Piran went, and then they were counter-attacking behind, and then Alex Richardson was then essentially kind of captaining, ordering the group around. And a lot was revealed after the stage about what they were doing, in that it wasn't even as simple as at first we thought about just slowing down. That there had been the decision that between the 4 riders in the group, there were 2 that were GC, and there were 2 off GC chasing the stage, and they had a gentleman's agreement to split up towards the end, and the GC riders to go back after they scored their bonus seconds. And it was for that reason Alex Richardson sat on in the final, because the deal had been broken, and that's why they weren't questioning him, because that's how it works.
There we go. You see that land art there? That has been put there specifically to celebrate the local speciality called a lemon top. Filippo Zana, the Italian national champion from Bardiani CSF, trying to get Davide Gaburo's attention, his teammate. So it's all happening at the back of the peloton. Kilometre 0. Mick Bennett waves the race off and the attacks can begin, and St. Piran straight away with Alex Richardson once again on the offensive.
Welcome back to the Queen stage of the 2022 AJ Bell Tour of Britain. There was attack after attack as the peloton followed the coastline of Yorkshire. And finally, after nearly an hour of racing, Magnus Sheffield of Ineos Grenadiers and Harry Birchall of St. Piran broke clear. The American took the 3 bonus seconds on offer at the Whitby sprint, and their gap had grown to almost a minute as they approached the Category 1 climb of Robin Hood's Bay. So it's time to rejoin our commentary team of David Miller and Ned Bolting.
Magnus Sheffield with Harry Birchall on his wheel, these 2 riders with exactly 1 minute at this point, and up they go. The first Cat 1 climb of the day, 4.6 kilometres at 6.8%.
Counter here, it's a Tega. No, it's a Caja rider, and Ben Perry up there covering it himself.
Yep. Increasingly taking the responsibility of covering the moves himself now, Ben Perry. Really steep section in the opening kilometre, and it flattens off just a little bit, but then it continues pretty much unabated with steep gradients all the way to the top. This is a hard climb. Sheffield just very controlled pace at the moment. And Birchall, a mountain biker. It's home roads of Devon. Some great land art as well here.
That is a good one.
That's fabulous. Been some real attention and some love given to this. Girls and boys. It's a real leg breaker. Looks like he speaks from personal experience there. 25%. So Magnus Sheffield, Harry Birchall on the lower slopes of this 4.5 kilometre climb still. The action might happen towards the top when they come out of the outskirts of town and up onto the moorland. It gets more and more exposed this climb the higher you go. Tom Pidcock moving up a little bit on the right-hand side of the road. On the right-hand side of his teammates, I should say. Felix Großschartner, the Austrian national champion, on the right-hand side of the road on the wheels of one of the riders from Bingo Pal Sources. Haven't seen anything of him today, but if Großschartner wants to win this race, he's going to have to do it today. And there is the big attack from Pidcock. We missed the moment, we saw it coming, and it's happened. Now, who can answer this? Pidcock's first attack of the Tour of Britain. He's off, David.
Wow, look at the difference. So this is now, everyone's got to react. It's Ben Perry himself who's going. Pidcock, he's on a mission to get back up to his teammate.
I tell you what, that's a great reaction from the race leader, though, isn't it, Ben Perry?
Yeah.
Pidcock's acceleration was violent, and so far, Perry has still got him in sight.
Yeah, the problem is if Perry gets up there, he could get countered by Fraley, who I think is on his wheel, but Pidcock now, he is not going to give up.
Piling it on. Jake Stewart climbing really well.
Mike Woods, so it's Mike Woods now going. So this is drawing out the best. Mike Woods, one of the world's best climbers as well. So Pidcock, after the violent attack, now just needs to settle into his rhythm, hope it brings out the best riders and they start to crack behind.
Magnus Sheffield edging his way towards the top of the climb there. The summit in sight. You can see the white signs by the side of the road. Big crowds out here.
almost blocking the road as Magnus Sheffield with Birchill on his wheels about to roll through the top of the first Cat 1 climb of the day. But his advantage that was 1 minute and 8 seconds has been scrubbed right back to just 37 seconds, courtesy of his teammate Tom Pidcock. Over the top he goes. Sheffield picks up 10 points in the King of the Mountains competition. Birchill 9.
Oh, Trinity's Gloag. So Gloag is there. We've seen Gloag be active from the beginning. Look at it, look at the grimacing.
Pidcock, Woods, Gloag. That's Richardson as well, I think, from the St. Piran team. But look how comfortable Tom Pidcock looks.
No, it's not Richardson. I'm not sure who it is, but they're doing a good ride. But Pidcock has now just got to keep this going. Mike Woods is not going to help him at the moment because he knows Sheffield's up ahead. But if he wants to make this race, he's going to have to. They have to work together. Now, let's not forget, there is no proper descent after this. It's a plateau. So now they do need to work together. Mike Woods is an opportunity. He can't sit up and play games.
Here is Pidcock's attack, is it? Set up initially.
Not even.
By Michał Kwiatkowski, and then he just went.
Yeah, that was a vicious attack.
You can almost feel the rest of the peloton go, oh no.
Yeah.
Here's a result of the King of the Mountains climb to Robin Hood's Bay. Magnus Sheffield took 10 points, Harry Birchill 9. And then when the peloton made it to the top, Tom Pidcock picked up 8 points for 3rd place. None of the real players in the King of the Mountains competition, though, featured in the top 10. Here it is then, the next categorised climb of the day, the climb of Egton Bank. Just over 1.5 kilometres. The average gradient is 8%. At first, it's relatively gentle, but after a few hundred metres, it kicks up to a substantially more aggressive gradient than that. And it is the next opportunity that the GC teams in the bunch behind, who are closing in fast, have to really try and animate the race. The cars are being pulled out of the gap. There's no neutral service now for Magnus Sheffield and Harry Birchill. That's a sign that they are incoming in the bunch. This is a very impressive team performance from Uno X. They've made a huge difference. Just 18 seconds now on this climb. As a unit as well, all 6 of them climbing.
Oh,
and they're riding away from the race.
Yeah, Hollenstein's just been distanced.
The red jersey's
no
been distanced. There's no Ineos Grenadiers there. And en masse, the Uno X team are piling the pressure on the climb of Egton Bank.
Oh, wow. That's an impressive ride. Only 10 seconds separating. It's a bit more than that.
Where are Sheffield and Birchill? We've lost them behind the trees there. There they are. And there's Uno X.
Oh, they are smashing this. This is an amazing performance. This is what we expected to see from Ineos Grenadier. It's a different tactic, but it's proving extremely effective. Look at that. They're just ripping everything up behind. Tom Pidcock struggling back.
What a team performance from Uno X. I mean, that's insane. They've lost one of their number, but they've still got all their key players. Skarset is there, Johannesson is there, Scharmig's there, Rasmus Till is there. Who's that? What, that one rider just following on the wheels there?
It's Dylan Toynes.
Is it Toynes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Dylan Toynes. You're absolutely right.
Pidcock
accelerating to try and get across. Magnus Sheffield, though, is looking around to find a swarm of waspish yellow jerseys hunting him down. That's an unbelievable performance from Uno X.
Well, we spoke about in previous stages that they are so disciplined and they always stand by their tactical plan. And look at the damage it's doing. Omar Freire a bit further back for Ineos Grenadiers, making on Ben Perry. The red jersey is there.
So too is Corbin Strong, incidentally, in the blue jersey, although he's just a little bit under pressure. There he is on the wheels of one of the riders from Bingo, and I think it's Sam Watson from Great Britain.
Teggart is there as well. So that's it. Sheffield's now back in this group. So they are doing a huge amount of damage. They're losing riders, though.
Yeah.
But they are ripping the race to pieces.
I think that might have been Anton Scharmig, and that might be one of their key players who's dropped away, or is that Scharmig on his wheel? It's beginning to hurt now. And Dylan Toynes just slots on. That's a good reaction from Sheffield and Pidcock. Pidcock looks in control of this still. He's slotted in there in 5th place. Good ride from Sheffield, having been out front for so long, just to be still in this group. Freire battling to remain in contention.
He really is battling Omar Freire there on the back.
No sign of any of the King of the Mountains players here. Tom Pidcock looking so comfortable.
Yeah, he's looking really good.
One rider from DSM.
So Israel Premier Tech have Mike Woods and Dylan Toynes there, so that's extremely good for them.
Max Poole is the rider from DSM. Haven't seen too much of him.
Ben Perry just hanging on in that group behind. So he's still there, Ben Perry. But he's the last rider of this group.
Max Poole takes a musette from the side of the road. The two British riders from DSM have survived so far. That's Oscar Onley is on the back there of that group, just on the wheels there. Takes a musette from the side of the road.
Ben Perry's
still
being
Rasmus Tiller works on the front.
Look at that. There's Ben Perry in the red jersey, the penultimate rider in this group.
Wow.
Rasmus Tiller doing a huge ride. So there's still an Uno X rider but further back. But yeah, you can see this is piling the pressure on. This is what you had to do. You had to go from the bottom to make a difference on these shorter climbs.
Well, it's yesterday's fourth-placed finisher there, Matthias Paskens from the Netherlands, from Bingold Source Pals, who took the maximum points there at the KOM.
Well, there he is. Ben Perry's on a great ride there, hanging on. I think he's got one teammate in this group in Teggett.
Well, Uno X really shaping this race at the moment. Anton Scharmich, Dylan Turns. Who's that GB rider there? That's Jake Stewart again.
Wow.
It's a second successive brilliant climb, and Pidcock goes. Stewart on his wheel. Max Poole trying to, with his musette flapping around, trying to follow this big acceleration from Tom Pidcock.
Oh, that's it. Look, this is the group. Everything else is so far behind.
I tell you what, that is a stunning bit of climbing from Jake Stewart, backing up what he did at Robin Hood's Bay. There he is, the rider on the front, and riding high in the general classification. Let's not forget, Jake Stewart in fourth place at 15 seconds. He's the best off of any of these riders on GC at the front of the race.
Sheffield again having a great time there, smiling. And
Rasmus Tiller's still there.
Just telling everyone, let's rotate. I mean, this is the move now for the day.
Yeah, that group's gone clear. They need to start working together. I think he'll recruit enough willing allies here. Let's have a look at the result of the Egton Bank climb, a Category 2 climb. Matthias Paskens picked up 6 points there. He started the day after his presence in the breakaway yesterday on 14 points. He now moves to 20 points. Scharmach in second place, Dylan Toons in fourth, Rasmus Tiller third, Tom Pidcock a further 2 points, and Jake Stewart unbelievably well his climbing legs today. He picked up 1 point for sixth place.
Welcome back to the Queen stage of the 2022 AJ Bell Tour of Britain. Eventually, everything came back together on the long ride across the North Yorkshire moors before the peloton dropped into Stokesley for the second categorised sprint. Ineos Grenadiers going for the bonus seconds, with Spaniard Omar Friday taking them over the line. They're now headed to the Cat 2 climb of Carlton Bank. So, back to David and Ned.
On to the KOM then, the final categorised climb of the day. There's one more uncategorised climb still to come, but Carlton Bank is a real test. It's 2 kilometres in length and it's almost 10% all the way up.
Yeah, and that's going to be more challenging for Rasmus Tiller. You can see the size of him, but now they're just controlling again. Ineos Grenadiers doing the same thing. No, Amador's done.
Yeah, Andre Amador has done a massive turn on the front, all the way over the top of the North York Moors and taking them through towards the intermediate sprinters. DSM now take it up. Chris Hamilton sitting on the wheel there. Got Oscar Onley on his wheel. Both those riders still very, very well placed in the general classification. They're emerging, those two, the young Scottish rider from Kelso, as well as Chris Hamilton, the Australian. They're emerging as a twin threat for DSM. Still a big bunch, the pace being set by Tiller, and that rider from DSM not doing too much damage at the moment. Leon Hanchka, I think, from DSM. But now the attack starting as that...
Omar Freiley setting up Pidcock.
So Freiley goes, and Pidcock on his wheel. And straight away Uno X lose Rasmus Tiller, and they're put under pressure. Chris Hamilton goes with them. Oscar Onley, a good reaction from him. Sam Watson looks like he's on terms. Serrano sprinting on the left-hand side of the road from Movistar to get across to the front of the race. Freiley now with Pidcock on his wheel. This is the big move from the Ineos Grenadiers, and it's really stretching things out. Dylan Turns has brought Oscar Onley. There's Filippo Zana. So Onley's still there. The Italian national champion is still there. Mike Woods now coming up alongside the Ineos Grenadiers on the right-hand side. Woods looking very fresh still. Onley just holding on, doing a good ride.
Freiley just folding up a little bit there, but it's still making a difference. It's just got to keep this pace going because people will start to crack. It's been a very, very hard day. Yeah, but he's doing it. He's making the difference. But Pidcock's going to have to go off this soon. But Omar Freiley's going to want Omar Freiley to go as long, and I think that's it. Freiley's done.
The red jersey's not there, is he? Ben Perry is really under pressure as Tom Pidcock now accelerates, trying to break Michael Woods, but there's a good reaction from Woods. Chris Hamilton still holding on in there. Pidcock still piling on the pressure. The top of Carlton Bank, they've still got around about 700-800 metres. Filippo Zana, Dylan Toons, Chris Hamilton, Mike Woods, Israel Premiertech, still with 2 riders at the front of this race. And Pidcock is struggling to actually drop any more of these riders at the moment.
That's perfect, though. He needs these 4 riders. He can beat them in a sprint. He needs a group that's strong enough to take it all the way to the finish line, and a group that wants to. And if you've got these riders, that's the 2 leaders from Israel Premiertech. They've left Corbin strong. It was up to him to stay with them. But there, Mike Woods and Dylan Toynes are some of the world's best bike racers. So this is a proper move.
6 riders going clear, and it could be the final selection, or at least the penultimate selection. These 5 riders: Chris Hamilton, Mike Woods, Dylan Toons, Filippo Zana of Bardiani CSF.
Going again, Pidcock just keeping it high. He needs to just make the difference, push it the whole way. Look back, now he gets an idea of who's there, but look, it's chasing behind.
That's Marius Meyerhofer. That is not Chris Hamilton, I don't think.
Corbin's strong just there as well.
Or is it Onley? It's Oscar Onley. So Onley goes on the offensive. Onley with Pidcock on his wheel. It's a great ride from the man from Scotland. Pidcock going with him. What a revelation Oscar Onley has been.
Wow. Onley, look, Pidcock goes again, but Onley keeps matching him. We got him and Chris Hamilton completely mixed up. They have a very similar build, and we didn't expect that. Onley has been working for his team the whole race.
And he looked under pressure, but he's recovered, and he's part of this 3-rider group now as Pidcock piling pressure on. Going to take the top of this climb, is he, Pidcock, from Dylan Toons and Oscar Onley. Well, what a ride from Onley. 19 years of age as the landscape just appears in view, and that's how much altitude they have gained over the course of these 2 kilometres.
Oh, well, this is a perfect move. We don't know much about Onley, but we're learning more every day. But Dylan Toynes is the perfect rider for a long move like this, because this is still a long way to the finish line.
Dylan Toynes countering. Tom Pidcock responding. Toynes looks like he might be going to take the top of this climb on his own.
Oh, look at how steep that is.
Yeah, it's a savage climb. Nearly at the top now. Pidcock and Onley, those 3. And that's a handsome gap. Now what are they going to do?
That's a dream move. They've just got to start rotating immediately. Onley was completely in control up there. He's matched their moves. This is Tom Pidcock and Dylan Toynes, both Tour de France stage winners and world champion in Tom Pidcock. This is a fantastic move, and this is the dream move. Tom Pidcock, if he could have chosen who to have at the top of the climb, well, Dylan Toynes certainly. Onley, he will now be very thankful to have.
That's the chase group being headed, by the looks of it, by Filippo Zana.
Well, this is good as well as a cover. I think Omar Freyle's still there. He's looking good, just sitting in the wheels. There is Ben Perry, the red jersey, struggling behind, no teammates around him. There's Amador, I think, who's made it still at that point. So Amador is there. Ben Perry can't do anything. He's now going to be stuck in this group that's just pieces.
Here's the trio of riders at the front. Dylan Toynes, Tom Pidcock and young Oscar Onley, the ride of his life. I mean, he's grown stronger and stronger as each stage of the Tour of Britain have gone on. First came to our attention on stage 1 with a brilliant ride and a brilliant finish on the climb to Glenshee ski station when it looked like he was working for Chris Hamilton, which he seemed to have been doing, but he rode and climbed stronger than his prestigious team leader. And Oscar Onley, what a dream move it is for these 3 riders now. 25 kilometres to go to the finish line for them.
Yeah, 25Ks, that's still a long way. Look, there they are, that's the second group on the road. There, those 4 riders. Then there's the group behind, so we're looking at groups of 3 at the front. That's the front group. 3 riders. Then the next group's 4, then the next group 5, and it's in little groups like that all over the road.
Carlton Bank, the final of the categorised climbs. Dylan Toynes taking 6 points from Tom Pidcock in 5. Oscar Onley, a brilliant ride. Those 3 riders going over as 1. Matthias Paskens, though, he picked up 3 points, and that means that at the end of the day, he takes over in the King of the Mountains competition. They're coming in fast. Movistar and Jake Stewart about to catch the breakaway of 3 riders. Tom Pidcock, Oscar Onley, who looks a little bit crestfallen because that move looked so strong with Dylan Toynes for those 3 riders. But Jake Stewart on the front from Great Britain has changed everything, literally emptying the tank in the services of his teammate Sam Watson. And as collateral, he has saved the day for now for the red jersey of Ben Perry. A brilliant ride, goes straight past them and carries on.
That's a monster ride from Jake Stewart. And they can thank Trinity Racing and Ollie Rees for holding that gap until they could come to the front. And now it's Gloag who's in second place, or I think so, yeah. So it's now it's up to him to try and do something, but not going to do it from the front. No, he's in fourth place. That's his teammate setting him up. So Gloag is in fourth place.
There's Corbin Strong. Don't want to take him to the line. He's got such a fast finish. What's going to happen on this climb? Pretty soon they'll be punching up to Newgate Bank. Movistar in control. Omar Fraile, the best pace of the Ineos Grenadiers riders, don't forget, on the general classification. He took the last sprint and he took the 3 bonus seconds to move from 15 to 12 vis-a-vis the red jersey of Ben Perry. Can Berry survive today's punishing stage over the North York Moors? I think he might just be able to at this point.
Well, it's looking like it, because I don't know if anybody's going to be able to attack. That's been a furious 20 kilometres, and I think everyone's redlining. So 1K to the top of this unclassified climb, which is actually a sprint. So we've got the double whammy now of it being a sprint, seconds available at the top of this.
Oh, the calculations all carried out at absolute threshold. A lot of these riders have just done the most immense turns on the front to catch that trio of riders who are still there, trying to recover, trying to go again. Chris Hamilton and Marius Meyerhofer are the 2 riders there from DSM, but Oscar Onley, don't rule him out.
Yeah, he's still there. He's just slotted back in, right
just
at
the bottom of the screen, alongside the red jersey of Ben Perry, and in front of him, Tom Pidcock. Watch out for Corbin Strong. He's second placed on the general classification, don't forget, in the blue jersey, just 7 seconds off the race lead. If Corbin Strong is able to, he might well dart out and nick these 3 seconds, which would put him just 4 seconds off the jersey.
I think if it's, I think you might just try that, because at the same time, Corbin Strong, you'd have to say, is now the favourite for the stage win if this stays grouped together.
Yeah. Dylan Turns moving up on the right, so Omar Fraile watches the man from Belgium, Sam Watson, the beneficiary of all that work done by his teammates. Jake Stewart just sitting there in the colours of the GB team. Tom Gloag out of the saddle, the big climber from London, riding for Trinity Racing. Dylan Turns still looks thoroughly in control, and Tom Pidcock was just bending down there, leaning down and tightening the ratchets on his sprinter's shoes. So what has Tom Pidcock still got in store?
Well, he might just be going for the bonus seconds. He knows he can't, in a group like this, it's unlikely he can get a top 3 in the bunch sprint, so he may as well try and get the sprint, the seconds at the top of this.
Serrano is setting this up for his teammate Rodriguez. It's Rodriguez now who's emerging as the leader of the Movistar team as Dylan Turns now opens up his sprint. Tom Pidcock alongside him, Fraile gritting his teeth, but Dylan Turns is looking to try and grab those bonus seconds at the top. Pidcock, can he sprint off that pace, or is Turns just going to hold on all the way to the top of the sprint? Here comes Rodriguez, hunting for points now. Rodriguez alongside Dylan Turns, and I think he's going to take them. Tom Pidcock battling on, holding on for second place.
But this is dragging it away again. This is turning into a breakaway. If they can just keep this going over the top, there's a gap behind. Omar Fraile's on there. Look, there's a gap being created. There's a breakaway again.
It's Serrano actually from Movistar. So Serrano it was who takes those 3 points. And Tom Pidcock on his wheel, Dylan Turns, and then Omar Fraile, and these 4 riders getting away.
Fraile's not going to hesitate. He's going to go straight to the front. He knows his job now is to absolutely destroy himself for Pidcock. This is it. No hesitation. This is his job now.
So Fraile on the front, over the top of this climb. This was Serrano moving past Dylan Turns, having been set up by his teammate Rodriguez. And watch out for Serrano at the finish line. Serrano is a very dangerous rider. He's got a real sprint on him. And Serrano, in this quartet of riders, arguably might be the strongest and the fastest.
Yeah, I mean, he dominated that Movistar riding a great race. But look at that, those 4 riders are off. I'm not sure who's in between, but everybody behind is going to be fried. The riders for the chase were used up hunting down the 3 riders who before that. So it's amazing, and it goes to show just the quality and class of Pidcock and Dylan Turns that they went again over the top of there.
Five kilometres to go. The chase group being marshalled by Jake Stewart once again, who gets onto the front, riding for his teammate Sam Watson. Stewart has shaped the final phase of this race like almost no other rider has. It's been an immense ride from the British rider.
10-second gap we're hearing on race radio, so it's all to play for still. But at the moment, I'm not sure if Jake Stewart's got enough left, because what he did before was extraordinary. And no, he can't.
Well,
so you can see there's no organisation back here. It's just riders pulling, just peel-offs one by one.
Yeah, Davide Gabordo hitting the front for Bardiani CSF. And at the point where it starts to go out, around about 10 seconds, that's the point at which Ben Perry knows he's going to lose the jersey to one of these riders. Question is which one? With the time bonuses at the line, order across the line in terms of the stage win, first, second and third, it will be absolutely critical. Serrano from Movistar is the best placed of the riders on GC. Don't forget, he's at 18 seconds at the front of the race.
There are no games to be played by those 4 riders. They know they are now in the race for the GC, for the overall of the Tour of Britain. This is, although they need the stage for GC, at the same time, they can't play around. Dylan Teuns missing a turn there. This is absolutely flat out. Serrano doing, all 4 of these riders doing a great ride. It feels like Fraile is the kind of the catalyst. He knows he's sacrificing his chance for Pidcock, even though he's the best placed on GC in this group.
Yeah. But their interests are completely aligned at the moment, until they do battle in the final kilometre. These 4 riders, I don't think they're going to get caught. I think that ship has sailed already. 12 seconds now. That means that one of these riders is going to pick up a 10-second time bonus. Don't know which one, of course, but that 10-second time bonus will spell the end of Ben Perry's admirable defence of his red jersey.
Yeah. And now, once over this little rise that these riders are still on, it drops down all the way to the finish, and then with 500 metres to go, it kicks up slightly. It's a false flat finish. It is not easy.
No, it is a grippy finish, to use cycling parlance, as Tom Pidcock does his turn on the front. It's not as if he's just being dragged to the line. All these 4 riders are doing equal length turns on the front. DSM, they have missed out here. Oscar Onley, it'd be heartbreaking for him. He looked like he was part of the final selection there with Dylan Teuns and Tom Pidcock, but Teuns and Pidcock are still there at the front of the race. And the youngster, unfortunately, Oscar Onley, just missed that moment when they went over the top of the climb.
And this is, the bigger this gap gets, you can see it's the more it's going to demoralise that chasing group. There will be sprinters teams will say, forget it, we're not going to do it. And then it will start to extend again.
3K to go for the chase group.
Right, 15 seconds on race radio, so it's constantly going up now.
Very, very hard to pick a winner from these 3, isn't it, David? It really is.
It really is, and especially on the finish. But the way Serrano dominated that sprint,
he would be favourite.
I would put him as favourite.
Yep. I would agree with you. 2.5 kilometres to go, and the gap's now out again to 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, and you can see behind it's bunching up. They're losing momentum behind. It's just one random teammate at a time going up to the front, but it's not consistent, not like these 4 riders who are working together. And they have a lot more to race for, these 4 riders.
Gonzalo Serrano.
Look, Omar Fraile not hesitating, he was just about to slot into second, now making sure Serrano goes through.
Serrano has had 2 top 10 finishes. He was 4th in the Glenshee Ski Centre climb, and he was 8th yesterday into Sunderland as well. So he's on great form, is Gonzalo Serrano. Could have even been better than 4th. He came to blows a little bit with Rory Townsend on the run into the finish and looked like he might have been hampered in his sprint, so he's clearly on great form as Pidcock hits the front.
Dylan Teuns there, missing turn. So he's already confident, or not confident, he was confident they're not going to get caught, and now he's just playing a clever game, thinking of the sprint.
Well, they've got enough time in the bank now to be toying not just for the stage win between them, but also for the leader's jersey.
So that was just that little look. Omar Fraile now is going to lead out. He's going to just not let this break slow down, and he's going to take it as far as he can up to the finish line.
Through the final kilometre then, Omar Fraile on the front. Yeah. Well, don't forget, Omar Fraile is a GC player as well. He's the best placed of all these riders on GC. Pidcock, though, dropping back onto the wheels of Dylan Teuns, forcing Gonzalo Serrano to chase down Omar Fraile.
Yeah, that was a brilliant move from Pidcock.
Really
he knows
smart.
They couldn't let him go, so he's just dropped back and got himself in the driving seat for the sprint.
Yeah, what a great teammate Oscar Fraile is to have for Tom Pidcock here. Now, can the Ineos Grenadiers, who've been frustrated so far on the first 3 stages, finally ride to victory at their home tour? Tom Pidcock on the back of this group of 4. Fraile will take this as close to the line as he can. Pidcock picking his moment, waiting, seeing what's happening in front of him. Gonzalo Serrano looking at Fraile's body language. How much deeper is Fraile going to go into this stage? When are they going to start to sprint? It looks like Dylan Teuns is winding it up. Gonzalo Serrano about to come off the wheel of Fraile. Fraile then holding on. Pidcock trying to get round them. Gonzalo Serrano on the front. Serrano pushing for the line. Serrano, is he going to hold off Pidcock? Here comes Pidcock with a charge. Pidcock alongside him. Pidcock just about there, but not quite. Serrano takes the win by a whisker ahead of Tom Pidcock. A brilliant ride from Movistar. Pidcock denied, but here's the sprint for second place, and it's Paskins involved along with Sam Watson. And that was very, very close at the line, but Serrano got the job done from Movistar, and he will take the lead and the stage. A photo finish has been declared. Serrano very confident he got there.
This is close.
Gets closer and closer with each pedal stroke, and there we go. Yeah, it's a clear victory for Serrano in the end. Hard finish. That camera angle doesn't do it justice. It's a drag all the way to the line. And after the day of racing they've had, that's a really tough finish. Turns quite comfortably beaten into third place. Serrano, the winner of stage 4 in the North York Moors. So, Gonzalo Serrano of Movistar just getting the win from the Ineos Grenadier Tom Pidcock, with Dylan Teuns in third. The Spanish rider taking to the podium in Duncombe Park. And also taking over at the top of the general classification, ahead of another Spanish rider, Omar Fraile of the Ineos Grenadiers, with Tom Pidcock now up into third. Ben Perry of With Sun God is still in fourth place after his day in red. Just a third career win for Serrano and the third wearer of the AJ Bell Leaders jersey so far this year.
Today is a very good day. The team is incredible, working very good, and in the finally my legs is very good and I can win.
Former leader Corbin Strong of Israel Premier Tech is still in the blue Dodal Points jersey. There's a new leader in the Skoda King of the Mountains competition, with Matthijs Paskins taking over from Jake Scott. But With Sun God do still have the sportsbreak.com sprints jersey, with Matt Teggett still in white.
It was the Queen's stage, and it really didn't disappoint. Stage 4 had absolutely everything, including a new jersey for this guy, Matthijs Paskins. Matthijs, congratulations, you're in the Skoda King of the Mountains jersey. Was it difficult to get on your back, or was it fairly straightforward today?
It was very straightforward because the peloton was closed and I didn't have to go in the breakaway to take it. It was just following the best guys in the peloton, and then nobody was fighting really for it, so it was quite easy today.
You had a big day in the breakaway yesterday, and the breakaway succeeded. Of course, you didn't win, but you'd be forgiven for taking it easy today after that.
Yeah, it's true, but when the legs are good, you recover well, and the form is the best I have been in a couple of months. So you want to do the maximum with the legs you have. So we go for it every day.
It's your first Tour of Britain. How are you finding it? Was yesterday very different to today?
It's really nice here. The crowd is unbelievable. They are really supportive and cheering all the way, even in the rain. Bad weather or good weather, it doesn't matter. So it's really nice to race here, and I'm really happy to be here.
Matthijs, stay there for a moment, because we're going to have a quick look now at tomorrow's Stage 5. In contrast to the lumpy Stage 4, this relatively flat stage will offer some respite for sore legs. After heading out of West Bridgeford and through the first of 2 Cat 3 climbs at Keyworth, the route heads north via sprints 1 and 2 at Eddingley and Retford, before looping back down south through the Sparken Hill KOM and the final sprint at Clumber Park. It's then a 30k dash for the line in Mansfield. So only a couple of categorised climbs for you to worry about tomorrow. What do you think the plan will be?
It's a little bit difficult because I also am standing, I think, 5th or something in general classification. So they won't let me go in the breakaway, I think. But we'll see. I don't know how much different is with the second guy. But I think we go for a stage win, and maybe the jersey will stay on my shoulders, but I don't know.
The final big question is, who are you going to give the teddy bear to?
There's a girl I'm seeing right now, so maybe she will get it. I already promised her, but I think she will get it.
She'll prefer the teddy bear to the jersey. Mattis,
Yeah.
congratulations to you. Really good racing yesterday and today, and getting the Skoda King of the Mountains jersey on your back. Pippa, thanks very much to you as well. Live coverage of tomorrow's Stage 5 from West Bridgeford to Mansfield is at 10:30 on ITV4. Highlights once again in the evening. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.